Dago Wop, Guinea, garlic bread, pizza slingers,
fried chicken and biscuit eating, monkey ate, baboon, big guy, fast running,
and spaghetti bending, Vic Damone, Perry Como,
high jumping, spear chucking, 360-degree basketball dunking,
Luciano Pavarotti, solo meal, non-singer motherfucker.
Yo! Hold up! Time out! Time out! Y'all take a chill!
Couldn't agree more. Now that we got that out of our system, we can get started. Do the Right Thing, a Spike Lee joint, is more than your average minority-focused film. Not just another black film in urban America, but rather a true-to-life commentary on an otherwise neglected and marginalized community. Whether we see it as race theory or the other gays, this film is a perfect representation of multiracial anxiety in an urban community, yet embraces this as a truth that should not be ignored. To understand how Spike Lee does this essay will be examining both the video and audio techniques used to bring this film's message to the audience. This film utilizes several distinct camera techniques, such as Dutch angles and wide shots. But for the purpose of this essay, we'll be examining the intricate use of close-ups. Close-ups in any film are a practical way to build an emotional or psychological understanding with a particular character. But this film goes a little bit farther than that. Take this scene for instance. Here, we see Mookie and Radio engaging in conversation. But watch as how the camera not only zooms in on Radio, but that Mookie himself steps out of the way to allow the camera to take his place. This not only gives us an insight on the character himself, but rather an overall perspective of the world and how they interact with one another. And with this, the audience transitions from being just an outside observer to an active participant, with Radio speaking directly to us. This not only gives us clearer insight onto the character himself, but gives the audience the opportunity to become a part of the world on screen. Now, in regards to sound, through both didactic and non-didactic sound, the audience is given a reflection of an all too familiar world on screen. But out of all the sounds in this film, the one that bears the most significance is this.
Peace, y'all.
Peace, Radio Learning.
Peace, man. You the man, I'm just visiting. What's your world, G?
Fight the Power by Public Enemy is at its core the very message that Spike Lee is trying to bring home with this film. The music itself is a direct attack against typical American values of the time, but in turn promotes and enforces an independent black identity. But what's most significant isn't the music itself, but rather how it's personified through Radio himself. He becomes a physical representation of the music and what it stands for, and can be seen through the interactions of other characters and the respect that they give him. Another important thing to note is that whenever Radio shows up in a scene, his music always dwarfs any other sound that's going on, demanding not only the attention of the characters, but the audience themselves. This act, combined with the music itself, could be the director's way of voicing his own demands for racial acknowledgement. In a sense, this was Spike Lee's intention from the very beginning. One of the key elements that this film revolves around is the racial tension that occurs in such a diverse ecosystem of race and culture. But rather than shying away from this tension, Spike Lee uses it to his advantage in demanding from the audience an acknowledgement of independent racial identity, not just in cinema, but to the real world as a whole.